Thank you. If ever proof was needed of the SNP's mismanagement of the Scottish economy, it is today's glaring £3.5 billion black hole in the public finances. And that comes despite the SNP receiving record payouts from Westminster. Presiding Officer, we know only too well that the world economy is facing extraordinary pressures, as are hard-pressed families here. But they will receive no comfort whatsoever from today's statistics. The financial shortfall set out in today's forecast is stark, most especially the gaping hole between projected public spending and tax revenues in the next few years. It's plain for all to see, and it is the product of incompetence from an SNP government that has no idea how to manage the public finances, the ferries fiasco being the worst example of that. So can I ask the Cabinet Secretary three things? Firstly, will she commit to ensuring that Scottish income tax levels are put back on a par with UK income tax levels, so that Scotland is no longer the highest paid part of the UK, threatening both jobs and investment? Secondly, does she agree with Mr Archie Meikle, Chairman of Ashwood Scotland, who says in today's Times that a second independence referendum should be immediately taken off the table because it is doing serious damage to Scottish business and trade? And thirdly, will the Cabinet Secretary finally admit that the Scottish Government has completely failed to act to address the low productivity, the imbalances in the labour market and the skills shortages in the Scottish economy that the Fiscal Commission has been warning about, not just today, but for years?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, Presiding Officer, if we ever needed proof of what the Tories' priorities are, on a day when an investigation by Glasgow University confirms that UK Tory austerity is the reason behind stagnating life expectancy across Scotland and the UK, that is the proof that we need of where the Tories will prioritise their spending. Presiding Officer, Liz Smith talks about £3.5 billion. Can I suggest that she reads the resource spending review and the medium-term financial strategy, because the figures she is quoting are well out of date and go back to December. They are based on forecasts. What we have before us today is a resource spending review that balances the budget we have available with the priorities that we have. A budget that has been cut by 5.2% by her colleagues last year compared with this year, and sees growth of only 2% over the next few years. And she talks about the Constitution. We see EY today confirming that Scotland has outperformed the whole of the UK and the whole of Europe on attracting foreign investment, a sign of the strength of the Scottish economy, not weakness. Presiding Officer, whilst we are celebrating those increases in foreign investment, under the Tories we are seeing the sharpest fall in living standards, we are seeing the sharpest rise in food prices as a result of their Brexit, and we are seeing families across the country struggling. This resource spending review outlines our commitment to tackle child poverty, to transition to net zero, and to ensure that we have the resources to help families who are dealing with the cost of living crisis.